Coates, Tom.
I'd like to call this meeting of your Newark City Council to order. Autumn, please call the roll.
Mr. Blake?
Here.
Mr. Bub?
Here.
Mr. Koss?
Here.
Mr. Fennell?
Here.
Mr. Frazier?
Present.
Ms. Hall? Here. Mr. Labutus?
Here.
Mr. Lang?
Present.
Mr. Marmee?
Present.
And Mr. Rapp?
Here. We have all here this evening. If you please rise for the invocation by Mr. Labutus.
Shall we pray? Heavenly Father, as we come to you pray this evening, we thank you for this opportunity for a new year, for the opportunity for new beginnings. I would ask that as we start this new calendar year, that we would keep in mind your vision and renew our vision and renew our commitment to the service of the city as a council and also all the employees of the city as well. I ask that you be with our discussion this evening, help us to be fruitful, beneficial, and bless our actions this evening. These things I ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. For one of the scout leaders like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, you can stay standing. Someone?
Parker's working on his Eagle project.
Okay, that'd be great.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next on the agenda we have caucus. That's the time to discuss anything pertaining to the agenda tonight. Do we have anything? Okay. We'll move on to the minutes of our December 17, 2018 meeting. Do we have a motion to approve those? Motion. Motion by Mr. Labutus. Second by Mr. Rapp. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. That passes. Thank you. We have two reports this evening from standing committees, one from finance and one from service. Without objection, those will be received and filed. Under reports from city officials, we have one this evening from Barb Jobs, our city income tax administrator, the revenue reports for the period ending December 15th, 2018. Without objection, that will also be received and filed. Under communications, we have two tonight. One letter from a concerned citizen and one from Houston Boyd. Without objection, those will be received and filed. Next on the agenda, we have comments from citizens. There are two sections for comments from citizens. One is now and one is after the legislation. This is not a debate with council. This is just your chance to be heard. Do we have anyone who would like to speak at this first section? Okay. Moving on, resolutions on the first reading. Autumn?
Resolution 18-102 by Mr. Marmee, Mr. Koss, Mr. Rapp, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor of the city of Newark to enter into a housing revolving loan fund administration agreement with the Ohio Development Services Agency and declaring an emergency.
You've heard the first reading of 18-102, even though it is an emergency, so you'll just have one reading. What is your wish?
Mr. President,
Mr. Marmee.
make a motion to adopt resolution 18-102.
Motion to adopt by Mr. Marmee, second by Mr. Frazier. Is there any discussion on 18-102? Seeing none, I'll please call the roll to vote.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Mr. Bub?
Yes.
Mr. Koss?
Yes.
Mr. Fennell?
Yes.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes.
Ms. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Labutus?
Yes.
Mr. Lang?
Yes.
Mr. Marmee?
Yes.
And Mr. Rapp?
Yes. 18-102 passes 10-0 with a little delay. Scouts, you picked a good night to come because normally the first of the year there's not a whole lot on the agenda, so you picked a pretty good night. Next, we move on to comments from citizens. Again, this is the second opportunity for comments from citizens. Do we have anyone that would like to speak? If you do, raise your hand and I'll get you started to come up here. Ma'am, you want to start? 1, 2, 3, 4. Anyone else? Okay.
Rochelle Boland-Smith, 237 Violet Court in Newark. Two questions. One is about the motion that you just passed, which is how do we find out more information about that? Because I can think of a number of populations that need to know a lot more about it. What the loan fund is going to be about and conditions and that sort of thing. And the other thing is, I read in the Advocate the other day that the gazebo is being moved, and was wondering where it was going to be moved to and more details about that. So.
sorry, you asked me a question as she was talking to me about the legislation.
Yes, about the gazebo. It was in the Advocate the other day that it was going to be moved again, and they were doing a fundraiser for it of some sort.
I don't know. I think that was through the county commissioners. I'm not sure.
Okay, how do we get more information on
That
that?
would be through the county commissioners.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And also my first question, which was about the 18-102.
Stick around a minute. I'll talk to you after the meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Ma'am?
Hi, my name's Laura Canby. I live at 1120 Wintermead Avenue. And I've got a question about the streetlights around downtown. I noticed there's quite a few of them that are out and have been out. And I thought that with this new system that you guys were supposed to be able to fix it electronically or whatever, and they were supposed to last so long, and they're already out and they're not even a year old yet. So I just wanted to address that issue. There's one right across the street over here on the side, and there's several of them over on Church Street. And so I just want to let you guys know about that. And about the gazebo also, I'm still wanting it put back. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Ma'am? I forgot to say, if you just give us your name and address for the record.
Oh, that's okay. I've been here a couple times, I know. My name is Mary Reed. I live at 776 Hollander Street here in Newark, Ohio. And I do not make a habit to talk to council, though I do come to meetings occasionally. And I'm here tonight out of concern for the news story that broke the end of last week regarding our police chief and the school bus. Conflicting information, kind of a he said, she said, except there is video. I'm hoping that there will be council members that will take a look at what happened. If he did, in fact, break the law, as has been suggested, that he would have the same consequences as any other citizen caught on camera breaking such a law. I found it very disconcerting. I know that part of it was, well, there are no houses on that side of the street, so, nobody's going to come out. Well, the last time I checked, elementary school age children are very unpredictable. You don't know what they're going to do. And if they come flying out in front of your car and you are driving at a high rate of speed and you hit them, it's going to be serious. I wouldn't want to have to live with that. I certainly wouldn't want one of our police officers to have to live with that, but I was very concerned about that. The other part of that, too, was if there was some sort of police situation in the area, should we have been allowing children to be getting off the bus in that area? So just wondering if there couldn't be more communication between the police and our Board of Education or the school bus garage. So that's really all I have to say. I know you guys aren't going to really say anything, just my 2 cents worth.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Crawford?
Daniel Crawford, 163 South 2nd Street. Just a couple quick things, more or less reiterating what the lady before me, as well as Ms. Canby had mentioned. First of all, on the article regarding the gazebo, obviously everyone knows where I stand on the gazebo, and I guess I didn't even realize that the city seal hadn't been getting dealt with. So I'd like to hear more on what we're doing regarding progress on that. I know we have to contact the county commissioner's office, but still like to know more information regarding the financing of all of this. And transparency is everything to me. And also regarding the police chief, I've mentioned before, I don't, at least in another setting, I don't want to call for like the police chief's resignation or anything, but I do believe we all should be accountable to the law. So a thorough investigation of this matter and make sure everyone's held accountable to the same standards. So I know if I had run past a school bus, I'd be expected to answer to the law and pay whatever fines or what have you. And I think we just need to see evidence that our highest officials are held to that same standard as well. So with that, I'll pass. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Crawford. Any city officials this evening? Honorable Assistant Law Director.
I'm sure that my boss would want me to say something about Go Tigers or
imagine
Clemson
that.
related, but I will pass.
So you're not saying anything?
That's a good call. Mayor Hall.
I just wish everyone a Happy New Year and look forward to working with council and the citizens as we move Newark forward in 2018. So thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Are you doing the State of the City next
I will
meeting,
do it
or-
within the next couple meetings.
Next
here,
couple
so, yeah,
meetings?
we'll look- Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Mr. Blake.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to thank our grant writer, Barbara Gilks. She's was able to work with the Cecile Lager Charitable Trust to get some dollars for the Florence Coble Park down in Little Texas. I remember Florence Coble because I grew up in the South End, and she was a feisty activist for that neighborhood, and many times I remember people calling her the mayor of Little Texas, and so that park's named after her and in her honor. And I think Mayor Stair gave that designation back then, but I think it's a worthy project investment for us to upgrade the playground equipment, the picnic tables, and the other items, accessories, amenities in that park. So I want to thank Barb Gilks for doing that, and also Dave Rhodes and his team for making those investments. I do also want to say, it was a fun New Year's Eve gala at the Weather Vane Playhouse. The mayor was there, and Councilman Fennell, and I think I did see the mayor dance a little bit that night. So, you weren't just a wallflower, but you still got there. So, but that was a fun night, and it was a good charitable cause to support the Weather Vane. So we had a good time to bring in the new year. With that, I'll pass.
Thank you, Mr. Blake. I'm sure that deserves a comment, but I'm going to
You're going to let that go.
Mr. Bob.
I would pass, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bob. Mr. Cost.
I'd like to welcome the Scouts. Thank you all for coming. As the President said, you picked a good evening. It's a short meeting. So please come back another time. You can stay a really long time in what we do here. With that, I'll pass.
Thank you, Mr. Cost. Mr. Fennell.
Yes, I'd also like to wish everybody a Happy New Year, and I can verify that I don't know about the mayor dancing, but Jeremy certainly will. There you go.
That's not unusual. That's not a surprise.
Thank you, Mr. Fennell. Mr. Frater.
Mr. President, thanks for coming, Boy Scouts. Just so you know, Don Ellington used to be a Boy Scout, so once you grow up, you can possibly be president of council. So dreams do come true. HHCA is having a meeting on the 10th at 7 p.m. And also their chicken noodle dinner is the 19th from 4:30 to 6:30. Mary, thank you for making it in tonight. I was able to talk, and it looks like the police chief situation is being reviewed by the law director's office as well as the sheriff's office, and so they're the ones that should be sorting that out. I also completely agree with the communication piece and the school bus situation. We definitely don't want to put kids in harm's way, so whatever we can do to improve that, I completely agree. And then when it comes to the street lights out, so the new system is being put onto the highway, which has the new lights, but if you do see a light, feel free to email us. We'll pass it on to the service director. We'll get it, try to sort it out. So if you know either the street designation, the pole number is the best kind of crux for AEP to go fix it, but if you have the general location, if you pass that along to us, we'll try to get them fixed. So feel free to email your council person, and we'll pass it along to the service director. And with that, I'll yield.
Thank you, Mr. Fraser. Ms. Hall.
Yes, thank you. I want to wish everyone a Happy New Year as well, and thank the Scouts for being here. I was trying to listen to all that education you were getting. Thank you. And as to the street lights, I think AEP does fix those. So I don't know if you want to call AEP and give them an exact location. You can do that. So, and with that, I'll pass. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hall. Mr. Levitas.
I wanted to thank the Cub Scouts for being here, the Boy Scouts for being here this evening, and wish everybody a Happy New Year. With that, I will pass.
You just demoted everybody.
I'm sorry, it's Boy Scouts.
Thank you, Mr. Levitas. Mr. Lang.
Yeah, I'd also like to thank the Boy Scouts for coming out and filling all the seats tonight. It's nice to have a full audience. Come back again and see us soon. Just wish everybody a happy 2019, and I'll yield with that.
Thank you, Mr. Lang. Mr. Marmon.
Thank you. I too want to welcome all of you to our meeting this evening. I want to wish everybody a very happy and prosperous 2019. And I need to call a Finance Committee meeting. And with that, I yield.
Thank you, Mr. Marmon. And Mr. Rath.
Thank you. Happy New Year to everybody. Guys, thanks for coming. Try not to look too excited. I'll call a Service Committee meeting. And just wanted to mention on the West End,
We have a new billboard that's up on the Thornwood Crossing. It looks nice. It's got advertising on it now. It's not even that tall. It's not like skyscraper height, but it does look good, and hopefully we'll be able to get that property around there taken care of as well this summer. And hopefully the old one at the corner of Cherry Valley and Reddington will be coming down soon. With that, I will pass.
Thank you, Mr. Rath. I'd just like to say thanks to the Scouts and everyone for coming. We certainly appreciate your attendance and appreciate your comments. Our next meeting will be 2 weeks and a day from tonight. Actually, since the 21st is our next meeting. That's Martin Luther King Day. Our meeting will be on the 22nd, which is Tuesday. It'll start at 5:45 with committees, and our full council meeting will be at 7 o'clock. And again, that's Tuesday, the 22nd, since City Hall will be closed on Monday. So, we appreciate it. Thanks for coming. Mr. Marmee?
I make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Marmee, second by Mr. Koss. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.